very beautifully explained. So here he says, Tatha mana apamanayo. Mana and apamana. In fame and infamy. Somebody respects you, you are equal. Somebody disrespects you, insults you also, you are equal. So lofty, right? Difficult, right? Very difficult. Imagine somebody insults you and you still have the same smile. Right? And somebody is glorifying you, still have the same smile. So tatha mana apamanayo. How is it possible? How is it possible? Because, see, what we are talking, all these qualities are of pure devotees. Something which we all want to achieve one day. So it's something like Prabhupada said, you try for moon, then you get star. So this is our ideal, and we are on a journey. So how come it's so easy for devotees to be equal in all situations? Because that is what they have. That is what is there inside them. So they don't have to make any conscious choices. Like, shall I get angry on him or shall I not get angry? Shall I take offense or shall I forgive? There is no such options because that is what they have, right? Like, I like this example given by Bhakti Tirtha Swami Maharaj. I think it was from his book, The Beggar. I'm not able to recollect now which part of the book. But he gives this example of how if you squeeze an orange, only orange juice comes out. And if you squeeze a lemon, only lemon juice comes out. And even if you refrigerate the orange, only orange juice will come out. You can't say that after refrigeration, maybe apple juice will come out, because that is what is there inside. So whatever is there inside comes out. So this is what happens with the devotees. That is what is there inside their heart. They want to respect everybody and they don't know how to disrespect others. See, in Shikshashtakam also Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says, Amanina manadena kirtanya sadahari. Amanina manadena. They are devoid of, a devotee who is devoid of any desire to get respect from others and is always ready to give respect to others. This is how an ideal devotee should be. So same thing Krishna is saying this in Gita. Tatha mana apamanayo. In mana or in apamana, a devotee is equipoised. So if somebody insults him or respects him, he feels the same. How is he able to do it? Because that is what is there inside him. See, I have a phone here, and if I have a pen here, then I have an option. I want to throw something on you. So shall I throw the pen or shall I throw the cell phone? Now I have an option. But let's say I don't have a pen and I have simply this phone. I have no option. This is what I can throw on you. That is what happens with the pure devotees of the Lord. They don't have that feeling of hatred towards anybody. The only thing that they are filled up of and made up of is love. So in every situation, only what they can respond is love. So whether you insult them or you respect them, there is the same response. How do we apply this in our life, and how do we come to that stage? Is whenever somebody respects us or somebody disrespects us, we disown it. We disown it. So how do we do that? So we can have this formula. Wherever we are going, whatever we are doing, we should always think that there's somebody else who is accompanying us. Who is that somebody else? Is our Purva Janma Karma. So the moment somebody shows us a lot of respect, so we immediately look at the Purva Janma Karma. Oh, it's because of maybe something nice I did in the Purva Janma, and that is why this person is so nice to me. Good, great, going. So looks like my good karma has risen, just like a sun rises and sets. And then the moment somebody insults you, you again look at, okay, some Purva Janma Karma. Something, looks like the good karmas have, set. And the bad karmas have now risen. Okay, this is what is happening. So you don't take it. You disown it, whether it's respect or you disrespect. So if you keep doing that exercise, then you don't feel bad about it. The ideal thing would be if somebody respects, you pass it on to Guru and Krishna. Somebody disrespects, then you take it upon you. Okay, so it's my mistake. Okay, it's humbling me. Okay, there are ways. But this is some different way of looking at it. Okay, just like waves, The waves in the ocean, they come, but they don't stay. They go away. Similarly, our bad or good karmas, they come, But they don't stay. They go and they come and they go. It keeps on revolving. So sometimes when people are too nice to us, don't get too excited about it because, okay, looks like some good karma have risen. And then people turn bad. All right, don't get too depressed about it. Looks like some wave of a bad karma has come and it's going to go back. So we can keep thinking like that, and that makes us equipoised in situations. Tatha mana apamanayu. On a practical day-to-day life, imagine somebody insults you. How do you feel? The general impulse is you want to react. You want to say something. But you have to control your impulse. In India, especially, the Indian ladies, they know this. When you go for shopping, sari shopping, you will ask the salesman to take out hundreds of saris. You say, Bhaiya, chara red color dikhao, nahi, acha nahi, green dikhao, blue dikhao, yellow dikhao. You go on, hundreds of saris, And nowadays the latest is you put all the saris and then you'll make a video call to some friend somewhere, and then she will see, and then she will comment, and then he will comment, she will comment. By the time the man is vexed up, the salesman, and after all 1 hour of drama, you will say, acha nahi laga, baad mein aayenge. We'll come later on. I didn't like any of the sari. And then they go to the next shop and they keep repeating the same thing with the next guy. But I tell you, this salesman, they're so patient. They won't swear words on you, and they won't say kya, at least especially if you go to high class shops, you go to high class shopping malls, even at the end of 1 hour, you don't buy anything, they still have the same smile. Thank you, madam. Please do come back. More stock is going to come next month. Do come back. Now, how are they able to put up that? Don't tell me that, they are reading Bhagavad Gita 12th chapter and they want to become Krishna's favorite devotee. No, I'm sure something inside their mind is happening, and this very inside they may be thinking, this lady, 1 hour she ate my head and now she doesn't want to buy anything. But what keeps the guy calm and peaceful? Because all the time you are looking at him, but he is looking at the owner. He is looking at the owner. He wants to make the owner happy. He knows that if I put up a nice smile and give good words, the owner is going to be happy with me. And anyway, this lady is not going to give my salary. The owner is going to give my salary. And that makes him peaceful. Same thing is in devotee's life. When somebody is, bad to you, the only thing that you can keep in your mind is, what I have to do with her? I want to make Krishna happy. And if I'm going to respond in this way, Krishna is going to be happy with me, and that is what I want. So I don't care what she thinks and what he thinks about me. If I respond in this way, Krishna is going to be happy, and he's my boss. And at the end of my life, he's the one who's going to give me salary, write down my accounts, what I've done when. So let me make the boss happy. So that way one can be equipoise in mana and apamana, right? These small little things, if we can be conscious of, makes our life so easy.
Krishna, Krishna, Krishna lage. Sab Krishna, Krishna, Krishna lage. Sab Krishna, Krishna, Krishna lage, sab Krishna.